What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I think I have my vote for Game of the Year. As of right now, there are 5 up for the title. Of course, we know that the Rigged Game Awards will give it to The Last of Us 2. Well, it should absolutely be the Ghost of Tsushima, although I think I now want to change my vote. I think my vote is going to go to Nintendo's Animal Crossing, a game I own, and I haven't played in a very long time. In fact, it's the game in the Switch behind me, but I haven't played it in a while. Starting to think perhaps I want to key it up again. Hey, if you're enjoying the coverage on this channel, just a quick reminder, there's a red subscribe button down below. Please consider subscribing today. In fact, Animal Crossing has become so much my favorite game that I might have to buy a second copy because they have banned Joe Biden. Well, technically, they've banned all politics from the game, but thank you. A little late, but thank you. Based Japan, staying based. This via The Verge. Nintendo asks brands to keep politics out of Animal Crossing. Absolutely no malarkey allowed. Joe Biden was reached for comment, to which he said, "Come on, man." Animal Crossing New Horizons launched back in March, and since then, brands have been jumping into the cozy world to everything from releasing streetwear to organizing voters. Now, however, Nintendo has decided to implement some rules that restrict some companies can do in the game. This includes keeping things family-friendly, not using Animal Crossing as a marketing tool, and most notably, keeping politics out of the game. Keeping politics out of the game. Smash like if you love to hear that. I know I do. If you're new to this channel, this has been one of my core tent poles of things that I cover on this channel, protecting escapism, and that's exactly what this does. It keeps politics out of the game, it keeps the game pure for what it is, and avoids division, which is something that modern day game developers not only can't seem to do, but they seem to actively seek it out. Quote, "While our services and products are generally for personal use only, we understand there may be situations in which businesses and organizations would like to use or reference the game in relation to their business. As such, we would like to share a few guidelines for those businesses, organizations, and anyone representing them to preserve the experience for millions of people who enjoy the game recreationally." I don't know. I don't know how to tell you how good this sounds, how good this makes me feel. I'm a Nintendo fanboy now. That's it. Yeah, there's a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, but I'm gonna buy a game I'm gonna buy a Switch game today. Got to do it. Got to support them. Many of the rules are to be expected. Animal Crossing is an E-rated game, so it makes sense that Nintendo would ban content that would be considered vulgar, discriminatory, or offensive. Similarly, the company says that you are not allowed to obtain any financial benefit from using the game, including selling your own custom design or earning an advertising revenue with in-game content, which is pretty typical of how Nintendo operates. The most surprising restriction, though, is Nintendo says to please refrain from bringing politics into the game. That's not surprising to normal people. Ooh, I love it. I'm so happy. This would presumably include things like the elaborate virtual headquarters made by the Joe Biden campaign ahead of this year's U.S. presidential election. Nintendo says that the only way to get around these rules is with the separate and express written permission of Nintendo. Quote, "If we see your activity is not following these guidelines or is damaging or have bad influence on the community, we may ask you to stop such activity or usage of our contents and take appropriate actions, including prohibiting your future usage of the game." I love it. I love it. Polygon covering Animal Crossing's rules prohibit Joe Biden's island. Ew. I don't know if I'd word it that way. These are things you might expect. You can't, for instance, make anything that could be considered but then there's this please refrain from bringing politics into the game. Curiously, the new content also says that you cannot use Animal Crossing as a marketing platform that directs people and activities to campaigns outside the game. Polygon reached out to Nintendo for clarification, but based on the most straightforward reading of these rules, things like using Animal Crossings for political campaigns that encourage people to go out and vote, as Joe Biden's campaign did earlier in the year, are no longer allowed. Groups that break these rules, Nintendo says, might be asked to stop disseminating of their content, if not be outright prohibited from future business using the game. Given that Joe Biden is already president-elect, some of those consequences might be moot. Still, Polygon has reached out to Joe Biden's team to see if Nintendo has gotten in contact with them. For now, Biden's Island Dream address is still active. We were able to visit it as of Wednesday night. Joe Biden, of course, isn't the only person to have used Animal Crossing tool for vehicles for politics. Previously, the game was embraced by Chinese players to stage in-game protests, used as virtual meeting place for BLM rallies, utilized by politicians like U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to make house calls. Under the new rules, some of these things may no longer be allowed. Hopefully all of them. Look, and I support the protesting Hong Kong, the treatment of Hong Kong, but not in the game. You know, like, just keep the game pure. I mean, also, it's freaking Animal Crossing. It's a child's game that is played by people with childlike minds. I absolutely love that they banned this because that's exactly what the video game world should be. Of course, you can see the comments absolutely seething. Haha, Nintendo with bias election interference, not changing this till after November 3rd. Looking forward to Rudy Giuliani seeing this, but not really getting it, subsequently bringing it up Crossy Road in court. I'm done with the toxicity coming from politics. Let games be games. Oh, look at that. An actual gamer comment on Polygon. You mean like late stage capitalism simulator 2020 to leech you for all your bells? Exactly. I play Call of Duty as an escape for non-political world where I can mow down hordes of foreigners without fears of repercussions. Sorry, even the Mario game can be taken politically. I've heard it done. There's the fact that these consoles and games and computers, even existing, is political. Child labor, shady sourcing, terrible things happen. Now you'd like to turn off your brain and just not absorb the politics around you? That's your right. But to demand the entertainment be shaped around this myth only serves to protect your tiny bubble of privilege that doesn't even begin to cover that. Yeah, that's what I want. I want every single gamer to be able to enjoy their video game without having modern day politics crammed into it. And I think that by the number of people who will smash like on this video, hopefully in agreement, and the number of people that will hit that red subscribe button down below should show just how many people agree with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon, but quick word, check out all these awesome ways to connect with your fellow viewers who agree that politics should be kept out of video games. And all I want to do is remind you that I have a thriving Discord community I'd like you to join. I have a strong presence on Twitter Alternative Parlor. You can find me on Twitter. And you can join my subreddit. I'd love to see you on all 4 platforms. Links are in the description of this video. You can also support the channel by clicking that join button down below and becoming a member here on YouTube, or signing up at my Subscribe Star, which is also linked in the description below. Both forms of support go miles to support people like my wonderful editor, Sean. Or my wonderful thumbnail creator, Ben. You don't have to do these things or join these communities, but it would be neat if you did. Now let's get on with the video.